You are not welcome at the New Year dinner. Now it's only for parents. That was the message. No hello. No explanation. Just a sentence that felt like a door slammed on my chest. I read it twice while standing in my kitchen, still wearing the dress I'd bought for that night.
Hi.
My name is Claire Bennett. I've been married to Daniel for 4 years, and for most of that time, I've tried, really tried, to be the kind of daughter-in-law who never caused friction. I smiled when his mother corrected me. I stayed quiet when his father talked over me. I swallowed every small cut and told myself it was normal. But that text arrived 36 hours before New Year's. Daniel was in the shower when I saw it. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't even text back. I just sat at the edge of the counter, feeling something cold and steady settle inside me. The message wasn't about dinner. It was about status, about reminding me where they thought I belonged. When Daniel came out, towel around his waist, I held up my phone. They don't want me there, I said calmly. He frowned. They said parents only? I nodded. He hesitated, just a second too long. Then he shrugged. It's just one night, Claire. Don't make it a thing. That was the moment something in me finally clicked into place. After he left for work, I opened my laptop. Not to vent. Not to complain. I searched one phrase instead. Luxury cruise, New Year's Eve. And when I saw the confirmation screen, I smiled because I already knew the photos would hurt them far more than any argument ever could. I didn't tell Daniel about the booking. Not that night. Not the next morning either. I let him believe I'd stay home. Maybe watch something forgettable. Maybe cool off.
The truth was heavier than that.
I'd met his parents 8 months into dating. His mother, Linda, had smiled like she was evaluating furniture. His father, Robert, asked what my family did, then nodded when I said we were teachers, nodded the way people do when they've already decided the answer is insufficient. From that moment on, I was polite background noise. Useful when needed. Invisible when not. They loved traditions. Their table. Their rules.
And Daniel?
He learned early that peace meant compliance. The parents-only rule had never existed before. Christmas dinners, birthdays, spouses were always included. This wasn't about simplicity. It was about control. About testing how far they could push me out while he stayed still. When I boarded the ship 2 days later, the ocean air hit my face like freedom. I posted nothing yet. Just watched waves crash against white railings and felt the calm sharpen into clarity. Back home, Daniel texted once. Hope you're okay. I stared at it, then turned my phone face down. Because I wasn't just okay. I was done waiting to be chosen. The first crack appeared the night Daniel realized I wasn't home. Where are you? He called, confusion edging into his voice. On a cruise, I said. Caribbean. 7 nights. Silence stretched. Then a laugh that sounded wrong. You're joking. I'm standing on a deck, I replied, watching the sunset melt into the sea. I'm not. He exhaled hard. My parents are asking where you are. There it was. Not are you safe.
Not why didn't you tell me.
Just what will I tell them? They said I wasn't welcome. I reminded him gently. So, I made other plans. He lowered his voice. You could have just stayed home, Claire. This makes things awkward. Awkward. That word landed heavier than the insult itself. The next morning, I posted my first photo, me in white linen, ocean behind me, champagne catching the light. No caption. No explanation. Within minutes, Linda viewed it. Then Robert. Then Daniel's sister. Daniel texted again, sharper this time. Why would you do this now? I typed one sentence back before locking my phone. Because you taught me I'm allowed to. As the ship cut through open water, I felt it clearly for the first time. This wasn't a misunderstanding anymore. It was a line being drawn. The humiliation came faster than I expected. At exactly 9:14 p.m. on New Year's Eve, Daniel called, twice. I didn't answer. I was at the ship's upper deck bar, fireworks blooming over the horizon, laughter rising around me like music. Then my phone lit up with a notification I hadn't anticipated. Linda had posted a photo of their dining table. Crystal glasses. Candles. Daniel seated beside them. The caption read, "So grateful to start the new year with the people who truly matter." My name didn't need to be mentioned. The message was loud enough. I stared at the screen, the noise of the party fading as something old and familiar tightened in my chest. That sting, the one that asks why wasn't I enough, tried to return. But this time, it didn't win. I took a photo of my own. Not posed. Not smiling too hard. Just me, city lights behind the ship, hair caught in the wind, glass raised. I waited until midnight struck back home. Then I posted it. The caption was simple. "Welcoming the new year, where I'm wanted." Within seconds, the reactions exploded. And somewhere across the ocean, I knew the table had gone very, very quiet. I expected to feel angry after that. Or hollow. Or vindictive. Instead, I felt calm. That post did more than embarrass them. It exposed the imbalance I'd been ignoring for years. They had assumed silence meant consent, that I would shrink to preserve their comfort. Watching their carefully curated moment collapse into whispers and private messages was confirmation enough. Daniel finally called the next morning. I let it ring once before answering. "You didn't have to do that," he said. No greeting. No concern. "I didn't have to be excluded either," I replied. He paused. "They feel disrespected." I smiled, slow and deliberate. "Good. Now you know how that feels." When we hung up, I sat on my balcony and opened a notebook I'd packed without thinking. I didn't write insults or revenge fantasies. I wrote facts. Dates. Patterns. The way decisions were made without me, and how Daniel allowed it every time. This wasn't about a dinner anymore. It was about leverage. And clarity. By the time the cruise docked, I knew exactly what I needed to do next. And it wasn't dramatic. It was decisive. I didn't confront anyone when I got back. That was the first mistake they didn't see coming. Instead, I met with a lawyer during my lunch break, still wearing my work badge. I asked practical questions. Quiet ones. About assets. About shared accounts. About what marital contribution actually meant on paper. I took notes the same way I always did. Neat, organized, unemotional. That evening, Daniel tried to act normal. He kissed my cheek, asked about the cruise, mentioned his parents were upset but over it. I nodded, listened, let him believe the storm had passed. Then I made one request. "Next weekend," I said casually, "your parents invited us over, right?" He looked relieved. "Yeah. I think they want to clear the air." "Good," I replied. "I'll come." His smile was instant. Grateful. Mistaken. What he didn't know was that I'd already forwarded documents to my email. Screenshots. Statements. Proof of decisions made behind my back, financial ones. Ones Linda had pushed for, and Daniel had signed without telling me. I didn't need to raise my voice. I just needed the right moment. And they were about to give it to me themselves. Dinner was polite. Too polite. Linda hugged me like nothing had happened. Robert poured wine. Daniel kept glancing at me, waiting for some sign of forgiveness. I gave them all exactly what they expected. Soft smiles, calm answers, patience. Halfway through dessert, Linda leaned back and sighed. "I'm glad we can move past misunderstandings," she said. "Family harmony is important." I nodded. "I agree." Then I reached into my bag. I placed my phone on the table and slid it toward Daniel. "I just wanted to understand something," I said gently. "These transfers from our joint account, why was your mother approving them?" The air shifted. Robert's fork stopped mid-motion. Linda's smile froze. Daniel's face strained as he scrolled. "Claire, this isn't the time." "It is," I replied. Still calm. "Because I wasn't welcome at dinner. But my money was." Silence swallowed the room. Linda opened her mouth, then closed it. I stood, picked up my coat, and looked at Daniel, not with anger, but certainty. "I won't compete for a seat at a table I already helped pay for," I said. And for the first time, no one had a word ready. Daniel followed me outside, his voice cracking my name like it could still pull me back. "Claire, we can fix this," he said. "They didn't mean." I know exactly what they meant. I interrupted softly. And I know what you allowed. That was the twist he hadn't prepared for. Not anger, not tears, but clarity. I didn't file for revenge. I filed for release. Within weeks, the accounts were separated. The transfers stopped. The family dinners continued without my contribution, financial or emotional. Linda never apologized. She didn't need to. Her silence said enough. Daniel tried counseling. Promises. Nostalgia. But something fundamental had shifted the night I booked that cruise. I had chosen myself without asking permission, and once you do that, you can't unlearn it. On my first New Year alone, a year later, I stood on my own balcony. No champagne photos. No audience. Just peace. I didn't lose a family that night. I lost the illusion that I needed their approval to belong anywhere. And that, I realized, was the most luxurious freedom of all.